From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Monday's edition of For the People. I hope you had a nice weekend. I was recuperating from a cold or a virus or something like that, but it's out of my system, and I feel fantastic today. I actually did my 16.5-mile cycling trek, which is very exciting. Was able to do that, had full energy, but something, it's this time of year where people come down with colds and all sorts of particular items, but I tell you what, I am a big wuss when it comes to to getting sick. I just don't like it, but I definitely wasn't feeling myself, and I have not missed a broadcast and will not do it. I will drag myself in unless I have one of those fevers or something like that, but thankfully I don't get that sick, but a lot of rest, and I appreciate very much the well wishes, and that means a lot and helped me get better and all that. But rest, I think, is the number one thing. And I don't know what it is, but chicken noodle soup, it makes a world of difference. And you can make it homemade. I got it from Chick-fil-A, and they have the best soup on the planet. I mean, let's face it, it's really good. I know there's some people out there saying you haven't tasted my soup. But the next best thing, it's definitely not out of the can. Chick-fil-A is pretty darn good. And if you haven't tried it, and finally, I don't know what it is. I just happen to like saltines with my soup, okay? The Chick-fil-A down the road from me, for the longest, have had stale crackers. Stale crackers, it's the worst. For whatever reason, I didn't say anything. I was going to complain, but meaning to complain, nicely. Saying, love your soup. It would be nice, that your saltines would compliment, and certainly somebody else felt the same way. Well, apparently somebody did, because the last 2-3 times that I've gone to that drive-thru, those crackers have been great. So I'm sure you're excited to know that I like that. But I feel better, and it's good to be back in the saddle again here on a Monday. We got a lot to talk about. Judge Jeanine Pirro on Fox, she had a very interesting piece, and she's being quoted, but very, very strong to law enforcement officials, to mayors, to any bleeding heart liberal. You have to listen to this and hear what Judge Jeanine Pirro has to say. She is sharp as attack, and if you're a law enforcement official, somebody that's in law enforcement official, little divided on the subject to immigration, illegal immigration, and especially not those, and Judge Jeanine explained this, breaking this down, not the lady that's taking care of your kid in daycare, not the one that's actually working. We're talking criminals. Criminals. This is who Donald Trump wants to go after. It's not ones that not breaking the law. The first one are those that have been convicted before and are in trouble now and being shielded from police. We don't get shielded if we're not an immigrant. We go to jail. So why the double standard? And it got me thinking about that, and I thought Judge Jeanine really, on her talking points, laid this out, and it's a powerful piece. I got to tell you, you got to strap yourself in for this. She really communicates. You know what I love about her? You have somebody that just never minces words, and sometimes it hurts. I'm sure that's going to be a little painful for some people to hear what's being said, but I believe that we'll dedicate the time for Judge Jeanine Pirro to say what she said on national television, and because not all of our audience has time, or does it, they don't even pay for cable. So this is a little piece, and I'd be curious to find out what you thought about it. And if you're law enforcement, do you think that she hit the right chords? What do you think? And you can Facebook us at For the People Show, or just go to forthepeopleshow.com, click on our Facebook there. Here is Judge Jeanine Pirro from her show. And here she is.
If you're a cop working in a sanctuary jurisdiction, then you're being directed by left-wing liberal progressive mayors and governors to protect illegal criminals who not only violated our laws in coming here, but in addition committed crimes while here. You're being told not to share information about illegal criminals and not honor federal ICE detainers. So, you've got a decision to make. And if this is a tough one for you, and you can't figure out what your sworn obligation is, then get the hell out of law enforcement. Think back to the day you graduated from rookie school, when you got a badge and a gun. You earned the right to protect us. We trusted that you understood your mission. We were proud of you. Proud to count you in that blue wall that every day separates a civilized society from a chaotic and barbaric one. Your job? To protect the innocent. Follow the truth. Arrest the criminal. Be true to your oath. That oath is not negotiable. It is not for sale, and neither are you. You knew this when you signed up. And no namby-pamby, bleeding heart, left-wing, socialist, political whore has the right to demand that you defy that oath. And if you don't have the courage to do what you know needs to be done, then you don't deserve to wear that badge. Take a look at what happens when you listen to these wimps, when you free the criminal wanted for deportation. All of these innocents were killed by illegals. On the right, innocent victims. The left, they're killers. Some accused, others already convicted. All of them illegals who were deported, then came back to the United States and went on to kill after they returned. There are thousands more like them. And every one of those politicians that ordered you not to cooperate with federal authorities has the blood of these innocent victims on their hands. And I hate to say this, but every one of you in law enforcement who bought into this liberal nonsense also has blood on your hands. You would never allow an American criminal to roam freely in your jurisdiction if another law enforcement agency asked you to hold them. Why change the rule and prioritize the illegal for whom there is a want? Why would you release them and not notify a fellow law enforcement agency? If you release the criminal, you guarantee a fellow officer or agent is going to be in harm's way when they go out to find that criminal. To be clear, we're not talking about, nor is anyone asking you to notify ICE about the illegal who's simply working in the field, the waitress, the babysitter, or someone cleaning a house. So what to do? You notify ICE as soon as you can, and I don't care what you have to do to get that done. If you have to do it quietly, anonymously, behind closed doors, underground, through a special hotline, email, or carrier pigeon, damn it, just do it. You instinctively understand danger. It's in your DNA. If you have an MS-13 gang member whose initiation you know requires that he beat someone to death or rape someone in front of his fellow gang members, and you don't tell ICE, you have blood on your hands. Americans have the right to know when they're in danger. Why would you treat an illegal criminal different than an American criminal? Hell, maybe law-abiding states should clear out their prisons and send their own criminals to sanctuary states. Since they're open to taking other countries' criminals, the least they can do is take ours. Can't you see that you're being used in a political tug-of-war? If this is a tough one for you, and you're going to start listening to the ACLU or some liberal mayor who doesn't give a damn about you, your contract, or your oath, directing that you release the wanted criminal alien out the side door, then maybe you should rethink this whole thing and go into social work. You're too damn dumb to be in law enforcement.
Judge Jeanine Pirro, I told you, she doesn't mince words one iota. She told it to you straight. She gave it to you straight. And some people will not be able to handle that kind of truth. Did she sound a little angry? Did she sound a little frustrated? I think a lot of Americans are frustrated, angry, upset. And it's not that there are immigrants that are not siding with this. There were plenty of immigrants that voted that are legal, that believe in these things because it affects their businesses. It affects their neighborhoods, their cities. Kate Steinle, think of her. Think of her being mowed down in front of her father in California. It's these same idiots that won't embrace Kate's laws that are allowing sanctuary cities, allowing them to get away with murder. So when Judge Jeanine Pirro says blood on your hands, it is exactly the way she said it. There's blood on law enforcement officials when they know that they should do the right thing and they resist it. They allow them to get away with it. What a double standard. Are they better than us? Do they deserve more than us? I don't think so. But you got these screaming heart liberals, as she calls them out, and rightly so, that continue doing this. More of our citizens get killed, they get hurt, they get mowed down, and they get taken advantage of. And it's all on our dime. It's on our back, our labor. It comes from our tax dollars that allow them to do it. And that should not be. And so federal money being denied to those cities, yes. And they say, well, you know, it's going to affect Trump building in New York, de Blasio says. Well, it would only affect if they allowed it to happen. It's interesting how they put that in there to say, oh, we're not going to be able to police it. And now the illegals are not going to be so cooperative. The illegals, hear how that says it. If they were legal, maybe they would be cooperative. Maybe there would be something there. And by the way, when law enforcement officials want to cut a deal or make a deal, they can make a deal. They believe that you have information, you're looking to get a green card, and you don't have one, and you have pricey information, you know, I think a deal can be done. Deals are done like that all the time, and there can be exceptions to the rules if you've saved a life or saved lives because you came forward and stepped forward. Yeah, maybe you should be granted something like that, and something should be done in that extent. That would be sensible thinking. And perhaps the Trump administration can hear this, and maybe somebody can pass it along to your senator and recommend it. But if you have people that are working, that are legal, and they do right for the country, they protect people and citizens from getting harmed, and they have that information, then maybe they should be granted something because of their good behavior, but not if they're criminals. Why would we reward criminals? And why would we allow them to stay in cities where they've hurt people, they've killed people, that they've broken into people's houses? They've DUIs, multiple offenders, have been deported multiple times, and yet we protect them? Judge Judy said it right there. And by the way, you can find it on YouTube. However, in her name, Judge Jeanine Pirro is actually what her name is. Query that, but share this broadcast with as many people as possible. Let them hear this. This is fact-based thinking here. This